All right. Hey guys. So we're getting ready to do this. Hey guys, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. My name is Nicole, and tonight I'm going to be interviewed. Can y'all believe this? That's right. I'm going to be interviewed by somebody. Hey.
I invited her. There she is. All
Hey, what's up?
right. Hey, how are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you great, man. Thank you so much for having
That.
me. I'm excited.
Oh, me too. I'm very excited. This is awesome. I can't. I honestly thought it was the same time.
Oh, yeah. What
No.
state are you?
Yeah.
You said you're in Ohio?
Yeah. Toledo, Ohio. It might be in that.
Is
You
that
might
like
be on that
Mountain Standard
borderline.
Time?
I think it's no. I think it's Central. I believe
Central? Well,
or Eastern. Yeah.
it's
I don't know.
it's probably because you were an hour ahead of me, but it's 7 o'clock straight up here now, so we're all good.
Really, it's yeah. Yeah. It's okay. It gave me a little time to have my notes down, so that's all right.
I haven't had anybody interview me here on TikTok. I've done it on my
What?
YouTube channel, but I haven't had anybody do it for me here because I always ask everybody else. I'm always asking the questions, so I'm excited.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm more of a interview guy, kind of like, yeah, I like interviewing people. It's fun. It's good. Well, hello. Oh, that's a bummer. I don't see your comments. It's only I only see mine. Yeah. Well, we'll get started, but
Okay.
I appreciate this very much. It's very nice of you. I mean, to have a random stranger just ask you random. You don't even know me. But that's good. I like that. I like that.
I'm super
Well,
laid
the
back.
first
I was just like, sure,
that yeah
interview me. I'm down.
yeah, because when you were on that live and I was just scrolling and I heard you like, I wish someone would interview me, and I'm like, well, I'll do that because I knew that you were in recovery. So I was like, oh, this is great. You know what I mean? So I will I'll go first on the question. It's kind of cool. They're good ones.
Okay,
So
cool.
I would want to know the reason why I'm doing this is I wanted to be the interviewer because you're a person who has went through an addiction and it is in recovery. And my backstory is that I have a family member and family members along with my wife's has family members that has had members that has are currently struggling with addiction. So to me, this topic is very real. Can you
Yeah.
hear me good? Am I good?
Oh
Because
yeah, I
I'm in
can
my
hear you good.
semi, so yeah. Oh, good. Because I don't want you to. Yeah. Okay. Good. So that's my backstory about this. So it's kind of you're intriguing to me. You know what? Yeah, you're intriguing. And I know because I seen some of your videos. I know that you have 6 years, so your recovery has been pretty good. That's good.
Yeah.
I think instead of like talking to a person that's a year, that's still good, but 6 years is very good. You know, what I mean, it's over 5 years. That's good. So that's my my backstory. We have some people that in our family that have had been addicted to drugs, unfortunately, and even my family, yeah. So the second one was we deal with this on a daily basis. Getting to know you and well, yeah, getting to know you and how you cope with your life, on how you deal with it on the daily basis in your recovery process is very real to me and intriguing to me. I think I just said that, but it's okay. These are
That's
my
okay.
notes.
You're doing great.
So thanks. And yeah, because I know that you're going to put this on YouTube, and so
I
we got to
am.
make this right. Yeah, I have my YouTube
So
too.
the
That's good.
pressure is
That's good.
on.
I know. That's good though. In my hair, wow, that's okay though. So number two is how did you your addiction begin? How did your addiction begin? Like, yeah.
So, okay. So, I grew up in a family in a smaller town called Hot Springs, Arkansas. And my dad is Italian and my mom is Mexican. And growing up as a little girl, I went to a school that was predominantly white, and I was one of the only kids in the school that was brown. And from a young age, I could always tell that I was different than everybody else, not just because of my skin color, but just the way I felt on the inside. I always felt like I didn't quite match up to everybody. I was always the chunky girl. I was always the not as pretty as the other girls, not as popular as the other girls. And that like really went with me throughout my life. So once I got old enough to like start making decisions about like hanging out with people, going to parties, drinking and stuff like that, my sister Michelle was a year and a half younger than I was. So I was 17 and she was like 15. And my sister had gotten really bad off in hanging out with the wrong crowd, and she was going through some really hardcore bipolar mental illness stuff. And my parents had to have her admitted to a mental institution where she was held there for 6 months. And it was really bad because my family was struggling. My parents were super stressed. They didn't know how to handle it. It wasn't something that you talked about back in like the 90s. You didn't talk about mental health. You didn't talk about addiction. It's not like it is now where you can talk about being bipolar or having schizophrenia or being BPD. I mean, here on TikTok, I see kids talking about it all the time, and they are supporting each other and they're out with it. It was not like that back when I was growing up. Like, mental illness was looked at as you were crazy. And so,
Yeah, you're right.
you know, so when my sister got put in the mental institution, me and my other sister, which is my baby sister, we were so sad that our sister was locked up, and we were depressed, we were crying, my parents were worried. And so while my sister was locked up in that institution, I was kind of like sneaking out and going out and drinking, hanging out with my boyfriend, because I had just gotten a boyfriend and he was my first love, the guy who I was literally 17 and thought I was going to marry this dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I started dating him, and he was smoking pot. He was 1 year older than me, and he smoked pot, he was drinking, and he hung out with guys that were like 30 years old. And so at 17 years old, I was going around these 21-year-old, 30-year-old men that were having like, yeah, keg parties, smoking joints, doing cocaine, all kinds of stuff with older people that were way older than me. I had no business being around the older people either. So that's how I got started using drugs. Now, the first time I used anything like alcohol and weed were not really like, but once I tried weed, then that opened up the door to me meeting other people that had cocaine, methamphetamine. And I had always struggled with my weight. And so I had tried stimulants before from my doctor. He had prescribed me phentermine to help me lose like 40 pounds when I was younger. So I knew I already loved stimulants. Well, then I tried cocaine at a party and then methamphetamine. And when I found methamphetamine, I was like, this is it, dude. I can stay up all night. I stay skinny. I got energy. Like, this is great. I love it. And so I got hooked. Like, I was immediately hooked from the first time I tried stimulants. Whether it was cocaine or meth, it didn't matter to me. And my addiction to opiates didn't come until later on in my life, until like I got out of prison in 2009, and that's when I got addicted to opiates hardcore.
Wow. Now, how long were you in prison, if I may ask?
I went to prison in 2008. So I had started using methamphetamine, and me and that boy had broke up. We broke up, and I went to college, and he went his separate way. And I failed out of college. I didn't even make it 2 years, y'all. And I failed out because I was smoking meth every day. Well, I got a job and I started working. And of course, I started dating another guy. And the guy that I started dating next, he was also a meth addict. So it was like we could do meth together now. And it was a horrible relationship. He would beat me. He abused me. I'd never been in a bad relationship where somebody put their hands on me until this guy I met. And I stayed with him for like 6 years. And
That's too bad.
it was horrible. I didn't feel like I could get out of the relationship. I thought that I deserved to be beat. I thought that I would never have anybody to love me. I thought that that was as good as I could do. All the things I would tell myself in my mind, like, I deserve this. If I wasn't doing drugs, this wouldn't happen. And
Now,
constantly,
did you feel when you felt like that? Was it because your weight,
I
the way
think it
you
was
felt?
because I had that insecurity and low
Yeah,
self-esteem and low
yeah.
self-worth from being, and here's the thing, like, I lost all that weight my sophomore, junior, senior year, so I wasn't even fat anymore, but I felt like that fat girl on the inside. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I've
I hear you. Yeah.
I've always had that just like super duper insecurity and kind of like the low man on the totem pole. And so I got into shooting up methamphetamine. The guy that was beating me up, we broke up. He actually left me and robbed me for all my jewelry, everything I had of value. I woke up one morning after being fucked up on Xanax bars and methadone, and I woke up and all my jewelry was gone, all my money was gone, and he had left me high and dry. And so I went off the deep end, and went into a deep depression. I was crying. I was upset. I don't know why, because he would beat me, but I was so
Yeah.
upset about it. And I started shooting up methamphetamine. And once I started
Wow.
shooting it up, it was like 6 months in, and I caught my felony, my possession of a controlled substance, which was a Class C
Really?
felony, methamphetamine.
And you would shoot that up?
Uh huh. Yeah. So the first time
Wow.
I ever shot up methamphetamine, I was over at my friend Nate's house, and he was cooking meth, and we were shucking matches in his living room. And so part of the process of manufacturing methamphetamine then is you had to get the red phosphorus off of the matchbooks. And so we would go to Tennessee, Louisiana, Missouri, and we would buy ephedra and matches, boxes and boxes and boxes of matches, thousands.
Really?
And we would sit inside his living room and shuck the match books away from the. You would take out the matches and put the red phosphorus over here and the matches over here. And so you would put them in two different piles because you were going to use the strip where the red phosphorus was at in the process of
Okay.
making methamphetamine. And so we
I
would
did
sit
not
in
even
there
know that.
for hours and shuck those matches. And so
What? That's crazy.
he was making a batch up, and he had just got done, and him and my friend Tammy went to the back bedroom, and I was like, why do they go to the back bedroom every single time we sit down to get high? Like, I'm sitting here in the living room snorting my lines. Why aren't they out here with me? So I walked
Yeah.
back there, and they were shooting up, and when I saw them,
Oh, wha-
I was like,
oh
you got to
my.
do that to me, man. I want to try. Why are y'all doing it? Why don't you let me do it? And they're like, you don't want to do this. You'll get hooked right away. It will ruin your life.
Now, at that time, why would you want to do it? Is it the way you felt? Is it the way you felt? You would think, or what?
Well,
Or
because
that feeling?
I loved the way methamphetamine made me feel. I was hooked. Like, I used
Yes.
methamphetamine every single day. I looked forward to getting high on methamphetamine. The reason why I used meth is because I liked the way it made me feel. I liked the feelings it produced. I wasn't just using it for no reason. I liked the way it made me feel. It gave me energy. It kept my weight down. I mean, I really enjoyed the feeling produced by methamphetamine.
Okay. Okay.
The reason why I looked to shoot it up is because I found my friends doing it, and they looked higher than me. They looked way higher than me. But
Okay. I got. Okay.
they also looked way rougher than me too, and I didn't put two and two together. But I was like, man, I want to try it. And so they gave it to me, and they injected me the first time. And once
Oh,
they
they
did
did.
that, I was off to the
You were just
races.
you were just hooked.
I was hooked from the moment that injection went into me. I knew I would never, ever use a drug any other way except for intravenously ever again. It would be a waste of time.
Wow.
That's how intense
I,
it is when you inject drugs into your veins. It's
yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
nothing
Yeah.
you've ever felt in your life. It is so intense that the hair on my head felt like it grew 10 inches. It was so intense. I had an orgasm. True story.
Oh
That's
wow!
the truth.
Not every time, but the first time, right?
The first time.
Oh
And that's
wow!
what got me hooked, man. And after that, I chased it for years after that. People always ask me, they're like, why would you do that? And the only way I can explain to them how good the feeling felt is by explaining to them that way. Because everybody has sex, you know?
That's, yeah, I could relate on that. I could understand. I could understand that you want that feeling at all times. I get it. I do get it. I
Yeah.
do.
And then once
I
I
do.
got used to it and it was like it was happening so often and so much, I wanted it more and more and more. And so I would just chase it into the depths of insanity. And when I got my felony charge, possession of a controlled substance, I was at a point in my life where I had just started injecting and the drug had taken all control of my life. I had gotten to a point where I lost everything. I had no place to live. I had no money. I was driving my car on a donut tire. I had maxed out all my credit cards. The credit companies were calling my parents and saying, we need her to pay her bills, da 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 da, blah, blah, blah. And it was just getting to a point where it was so out of control. And so it was like God was intervening when I got that felony because he was trying to slow me down. But it didn't slow me down, honey. It was just a bump in the road.
Wow.
I got the... Go
Now,
ahead.
oh, sorry. How many times would you do it in a day? Like shoot up in a day? Like yeah, you would think.
Oh, God. Okay, so methamphetamine lasts a long time when you get high. Like, you can stay high off one shot for like 3 days.
Oh,
But
okay.
I would shoot up obsessively because it was the act of injecting. There was times I wouldn't even have drugs and I would just inject water just to have the act of injecting because I had become addicted to the ritual of it.
Wow.
It was so,
Like yeah,
it's so psychologically addicting, plus physically and mentally addicting, that it was just like
yeah.
sometimes I didn't have the drug, but I would use just so I could feel like I had something, and there would be nothing there.
Now, when you're shooting up, it is in the vein, correct?
Yes.
It's going to. Oh, okay. It's not. I've never done. Well, I've done marijuana, but I have not done no hardcore drugs due to one of my family members close to me doing it, and I at a young age at 16. So, but it's not about me. It's about you.
No, yeah.
It's definitely about you.
I totally lost control of my life and everything around me. And I want to kind of let you know, like, I was raised up in a good home. My mom and dad, they're
Yeah.
still married to this day. Like, I made pretty good grades in high school. I knew right from wrong. I wasn't abused as a child. I didn't have any trauma that happened to me. I just really got into the wrong crowd and I started using drugs at a young age. And by the time I graduated high school, I was a daily user. I was already hooked. I was like running away from home and leaving my parents and not coming home, and they were trying to find me. Like, my parents cared. They wanted me to be better. They didn't know what to do because, like I said, it's not like it is now. Now everybody talks about addiction. Everybody talks about mental health.
Everybody.
Back in the
Yeah.
90s, nobody knew what to do with me. Nobody knew how to help me. And it was
I hear you.
so,
I am.
like, it was looked down upon. You know what I mean?
You know.
So,
I got another question.
okay.
What was your drug of choice, and did you have more than one choice of drugs? Like, what was your favorite? I guess you could say.
Well, I was a poly addict, which is a person who is addicted to multiple substances. Polysubstance
Okay.
abuser. I would say if I had to put them in order from my favorite to my least favorite, it would have went like this: methamphetamine, Roxy's, which is IV oxycodone,
Okay.
cocaine, Xanax, marijuana, alcohol.
Oh wow. Now, would you snort cocaine? Of course, you would.
I
Or would you
started
smoke
snorting it, but then I moved to shooting it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's even shooting cocaine is even more intense than shooting methamphetamine because it's a different kind of high. Methamphetamine keeps you up for like 3 days, but shooting cocaine is like, and it's like a 5-minute high, but it's so intense that there was times where I thought I was going to blow my heart out. Like I fell on the ground and my lips would turn completely purple and blue, and people would think, oh my God, she's dead. And then they'd pull the syringe out of me and I'd pop up and I'd be alive. It was so crazy because I would damn near kill myself, but then I would go back for more.
Wow. Now, when you're shooting up on your hands, did they ever get infected? Did you use the same needle? Did you use a new needle? Were you that bad of old needle?
I used old needles all the time. I actually contracted hepatitis C because of my addiction. Because here in Arkansas, where I live, you can go to the pharmacy and ask for syringes and they can deny you if they want to. And so a lot of times when I would go to get syringes, they would tell me no. And so I would use the same syringe over and over and over again to the point where I couldn't even stab it and it wouldn't go through my skin because it was so dull. To the point where we would get these things that you sharpen knives with, and we would try to sharpen our needles on it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was so bad, man. Like, when I think back to it, I know because you're not an addict, so you're like, whoa. When I think back on it, I'm like, I can't believe how bad my addiction, but then I say, I can't believe I let myself get to that point. But I didn't let myself. I had absolutely no control whatsoever. Drugs ran my life. I was not making choices. I was literally on autopilot, consumed by methamphetamine. I had no choices. I was literally a puppet to addiction.
Wow. All right. Next question. At what point did you think, or did you know that you were actually addicted, or a functional user? Were you a functional user, or
for a short time? You were addicted? For a short time, I could go to work, I could maintain. That was for a short time, couple of years at the beginning. After that, I was out of my mind. Now, don't get me wrong, I kept a job throughout my whole addiction, but I'd lose them. I'd go in so high, my boss would be like, holy shit, you can't be here. And so I'd end up getting fired. That happened so many times. One time, I was so high on Xanax at my job, I fell asleep on my lunch break out in my car, and they found me hanging out. I was literally passed out across my back seat with my head hanging out the window. And then another time, I went into work so high that I was hallucinating, talking to people that weren't there.
Oh, wow.
So my boss was like, you're talking to people that aren't here. You can go home.
Yeah, that's for sure. Now, I know you're married. How long have you been married?
I met my husband in 2012, and we got married in 2019.
Okay, so during this time, he was not around, of course, when you were when you were using drugs, correct?
Well, we're both addicts, and so when I met my husband in 2012, he was an addict too, and so we got together and we started using together, and that just. When we got together, both of our addictions just imploded and got even worse together.
Wow. Now, doing that together, how much money would you probably think that you'd spend in a week on drugs?
God. Okay, so I'll give you a roundabout. So let's say, Roxy's, we were doing Roxy's, and those are $30 a pill. So each one of us, he would need 3 and I would need 3. So that's $180 just right there for pills to inject. If we were doing methamphetamine, we would get like a gram and a half, which is like $100. So $200 a day, easy. But a lot of the times we wouldn't have any money. So I would have to hustle. And I had all kinds of little scams that I would do that would help us make money so we would be able to fuel our addiction. Because most of the times I would lose my job, or I would work just enough hours to get enough money to get us high, and then I would be off to the races again. So yeah.
Now, what do you do now? What do you do now for work? Now, what do you do now?
I work for a treatment center. I work for Dr. B here on YouTube, TikTok, Dr. B Addiction Recovery.
Really? That's good. That's really good. That's really good.
I love it.
That's amazing. Yeah, and how long you been working there?
Almost 2 years. In January, it'll be 2 years. So about a year and a half.
Uh, So there, you probably what do you do? You help people with addiction. Is that what you guys do?
Yes, so I answer the phones for the treatment center, and so like if
Okay.
somebody's calling and they're looking for treatment, I answer the phone and help them get set up. I actually help manage his YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, emails. I'm kind of like his personal assistant slash intake coordinator for his treatment center.
Man, that is amazing. That is something that's
I
awesome.
love it.
That
It's my dream job. And
that's good that you got that.
I didn't have a job right away working in treatment. Like when I got sober in 2015, I got sober because my little boy got taken away from me by
Oh
CPS.
yeah, I was about to ask that question. Yeah.
And so when that happened, that was my rock bottom. I was like, oh shit, I'm not just ruining my life, I'm ruining my son's life, my poor
Yeah.
baby
Yeah.
boy. And
Yes.
so I went into treatment right away and got help. So did my husband, and we both got sober together. And I worked my way up. I stayed sober for a year, and then I asked my sponsor if I could share my story, and she said, yeah. So I started
That's a good
sharing my
sponsor. That's
story.
good.
And then I went online and started sharing my story. And then I started a YouTube channel about 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago, and started sharing there. And that's how I met my
That's good.
boss, was on
Well,
YouTube.
that's good. Okay. Yeah,
And that's how he
that's
was like,
really
hey,
good.
why don't you come work for us? And I was like, okay. So,
That's amazing. That I'm very proud of you, and I don't even know you. I'm just saying I'm very proud of you about that. That's hard work, especially the YouTube thing. You know, like
yeah,
what you've
I
been
just
doing.
hit 8,000 followers on YouTube. Do you know
That's
how many
good. I
years
only
it's
have
taken me to get to 8K on
that's
YouTube?
that is amazing. I am so proud. I only have 11,
It's
but
hard, dude. It's hard work.
I'm not on there like every day. But I'm starting. You could say I'm starting to use social media as it's one of your the tool. And you use it like this. When I heard you say, "Oh, I need someone to interview me," I'm like, well, I think that's maybe my niche. Maybe I'll be interviewing people. I don't
If
know.
you're
Maybe
trying to
something
do
different.
anything, if you're trying to do anything that you want to do in business to make your business successful, social media is the way to go.
Yeah, you're
Everyone is
right.
on social media, and
Oh
that's
yes.
why you see like a lot of treatment centers. They're making Instagram accounts and TikTok accounts and YouTube accounts because this is the way. This is how this is how you get connected to the younger
Yeah.
generation. You know,
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And then like kind of like if we didn't have this, I would have never met you. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
Like, yeah. Okay. So the next question is, what was your lowest point that made you think I need to get help? I need to get rehab. I need to seek recovery. I need this badly. I'm losing my son, as you know, CPS. Like, when did you think like I just can't live like this no more? I need help. I cannot do this anymore. I can't let my son see me like this anymore. Or in your family, your mom and dad, your husband, or your husband was, both of you, I guess you could say like, hey, wouldn't like, because you guys are a team now. It seems like, well, you guys are a team. You guys are
Yeah.
going for it now. Yeah.
Well, so losing my son was like the turning point. But what happened when I was in treatment was I got to treatment and I relapsed inside of treatment on Xanax. And then they caught me. And when that happened, it was like a wake up call because I was still trying to like hustle. I was still trying to like manipulate and try to make things work to my benefit instead of just getting sober and changing my life. And so when they caught me, they sat me down and they were like, we're going to terminate your rights and you'll never see your son again. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, I really got to make a change. I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm fucking up. And I had always been able to I had always been able to get into programs and comply and do the right thing. But for some reason, I was struggling. I lost custody of my son and I was struggling with it. And so that
Yeah.
rock bottom was them confronting me and saying, we will take your child and you will never see him again. And that was just like, oh, hell no. Like, I loved
Yeah.
my son. I didn't love
Yeah.
myself at all, but I loved my son enough to try to get sober and love myself. I didn't love myself at all. And my son saved my life. If my son hadn't been born, I would not be sober today. I promise you, I would have never got my life back. But I loved my son enough to try. And so what I did was I said, I will just keep trying and I will do this for my son. Because I wasn't ready to do it for myself because I didn't love myself. So I just kept trying every single day for my son, for my son, for my son. And then eventually, after like 2 to 3 years of trying for my son, I finally started to want to do it for myself. And then I was like,
good.
I want to do this because I want to stay sober and I love myself now and I want to help other people. But it took me a long time to get to that point where I actually did it for myself because I didn't love myself. I hadn't loved myself since I was a kid. I always felt like I was so just not the right person. I always felt so out of body, like not myself.
Yeah.
And so learning to love myself was a whole new experience because I had never loved myself ever since the beginning of time.
Wow, like this by meeting you right now, like on that live, you just to me you have it seems like you have confidence in you.
Well, that's practiced and learned over the last 6 years. Like I had to learn how to speak without drugs because I had gotten to a point where I had been used to being high for so long. I didn't even know how to order a fucking meal at the drive-thru without stuttering. I didn't know how to write a checkbook. Couldn't do it. Bank account? Never heard of it. Like I didn't have anything that you have in your normal life that comes natural to you. I didn't have those things. I had nothing. The only thing I knew how to do was get high and lie and hustle and manipulate and get high and pass out and smoke cigarettes. That's it.
Were you ever homeless, though? Were you ever homeless?
Yeah, many times. One thing about me is I got the gift of gab. I'm sure you've learned that by now. And so I've always been able to like...
Me too. That's good, though. That's a good thing. I like that about you.
I've always been able to make friends and like sleep on people's couches and stuff, but there was times where I couldn't find anybody to sleep on their couch. And so I had a car, so I would sleep in my car. But then when my car got impounded, I was up shit creek without a paddle. And so there's many times where I slept outside on the side of a building. Never for like too long though, because I always got rescued. I always could get rescued and call somebody and they would let me sleep on their couch or something like that, you know?
I've not that I've been homeless, but pretty close, but I don't like that feeling. Oh man, it's the worst feeling ever. Like, you know, I wasn't addicted to drugs or anything like that, but you know, like losing, we'll put this back on me. I shouldn't do that, but
no, it's okay.
The anger and the emotions, I could not control my emotions and my anger.
Yeah. It's hard whenever you're homeless and you know you don't have somewhere to go to take a shower, to lay down in your bed. It's like, what do you have to live for? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. It's like when you don't have nothing to live for, and I get what you're saying. You just like, you know, forget it. I'm just going to do drugs.
Yes.
You know, especially if you don't love yourself. You don't want to be here. You don't want to be. You don't care. You want to just feel that. You want to feel numb or that high. Yeah, I definitely understand that. I do. Trust me. All right. The next question. Oh, what is your name anyway?
Nicole.
Oh, Nicole. Oh, that's cool. All right.
What's your name?
Jason, by the way.
Jason. We're just like interviewing. We don't even know who each other are.
I know.
It's all good.
I know. Like, hi. Nicole, that's a good name. I like that.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. The next one would be what would you tell you? Oh, what would you tell someone who is just in the beginning of their recovery process? What would you tell them? Like, what would you? I guess some advice. I mean, you've probably been doing it. Probably been doing it a lot because I checked out your videos. You're very awesome. Your lives are great, man. You're really a good person to me. You know what I mean?
Thank
Like
you. I
what I've
appreciate
seen,
that.
what I've just seen, and since the live that's when I started watching your videos off and on. You know what I mean? So what would you what would you tell them
I
at the
would
beginning of
tell
the
them, I
recovery
would
process?
literally, I could print you out a roadmap on how to stay sober if you'll just listen to me. Okay, so listen to this. Once you get
Okay, go
sober,
ahead.
you need to absolutely 100% plug into some kind of recovery fellowship. It doesn't have to be AA or NA, but those are great fellowships that you can get into. I would also say get into therapy. Therapy and fellowship with other people who've been through what you've been through. Get you somebody like a sponsor or a mentor or an accountability partner that you can talk to every day about what you're going through, and get ready to fucking talk to them about everything. Like, I would call my sponsor when I okay, so that one point in my sobriety, I was 6 months sober. I wanted to go back to college. And I had already planned out what I was going to do. I was going to quit my job. I was going to go to college, and I was going to live off of the check that they sent me from the college. So I called my sponsor to tell her about my bright idea. And she was like, "You are not going to do that." You need to stay your ass at your job and work and be responsible and quit trying to find these get rich quick schemes. Because what would end up happening is I would have gotten to college, I would have got my first check from the college, and I would have never seen them fools again.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
And so
Okay.
many people do
Okay.
that.
That's you're right though. They should do that. You're definitely right. They should do that, but they don't do it for. Well, I'm not saying all of them don't do it. Or they're not using. I don't think they're using their tools wisely, but they don't care. I guess. I mean, they don't. They're not. Not that I say they don't care, but
When
they,
you're
they don't
young
want
like
to. They
that
don't.
and when you're in early sobriety like that and you get a big
Yeah.
check, it's dangerous. When you get a large sum of money and you've never had large sum of monies before, a lot of people make the bad choices. I mean, even in my early recovery, like, if I got a big check from my job, like, I had to like talk to my husband about it or deposit it directly into the bank, so that way I wasn't just walking around with like $500 or $600 on me, because it can be a trigger to want to spend it
Yeah.
on
Oh
drugs.
yeah. 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 Definitely. One thing I wanted to do. I mean, just to. I used to be a correction officer
Mm-hmm.
for 5 years. I did that, and then I also worked at a rehab place. So you're probably thinking
I was
like,
on
why?
probation for a
Really?
year, but then my probation officer revoked my probation because I couldn't pass my drug tests. So that's how I went to
Dang.
prison, because of that.
Wow. Oh yeah. Yep. All right. The next question. Uh, do you think mental health is a majority of the underlying issues, and talking about people who have an addiction with drugs or alcohol? So pretty much, there's definitely a mental health um, problem, like the underlining of why people are doing drugs and alcohol?
Most people have underlying mental health issues and they're medicating that, and that's why they're using drugs. Also, so what was going on with me was, it was basically a lack of self-esteem and self-worth that kind of
Yeah,
put me
yeah,
on to
yeah,
using drugs. But I did have underlying mental health issues with depression and anxiety that I didn't even know about until after I got sober and got evaluated and got medicated, and now I have take medication for my anxiety
yeah,
and my
yeah.
depression, and that helps balance me out so I'm not like all wild all over the place.
Man, I did that. I had that anxiety. That is no joke. I'm 42, and it started without probably like when I was 38, 39.
Mm-hmm.
Now it went away. It went away now, but it's crazy.
It is hard. And when you don't
It
know how to
is.
handle that kind of feelings, it can be
Yeah,
so
yep.
overwhelming, you know?
Yes. Yes. Oh, it is. It is
Mental
crazy.
health is
Oh
hard
man.
because a lot of people
It.
struggle with mental illness in silence because they're afraid or embarrassed to say anything. Same with
Yep.
addiction.
You're
A
right.
lot of people struggle in silence with addiction because they're embarrassed and they're ashamed and they don't
Yep.
want to say anything, you know?
You're right. You're totally right. Man, you're right.
And I think a lot of
You're
times, like,
right.
I know you said you had somebody in your family that struggles with addiction. Like, when it's somebody close to us and they keep doing bad stuff, like lying and stealing, like, because I know, because my husband's an addict too, I would get so angry at him, and but now I had to step back, and I'm like, I realized that it's because he was sick. You know what I mean? He's sober now, but he relapsed last year, and that addiction made him make choices that he would never make before. And I saw him for that in my sobriety, and seeing him in his addiction while I was sober was the hardest thing I've ever been through, because I hated him. I was so angry at him for relapsing. I wanted to just kick his fucking head in. I was so mad because he was doing stupid shit. He was lying to my face. He was manipulating me. And then I realized, I was like, all the people that I help with addiction, I show them love. I show them tolerance. I show them patience. I don't judge them. But when my own husband is struggling, I can't do that because it's so close to home. It hurts so bad when you have somebody that you love that's addicted to drugs, because it feels like impossible to help them. It feels like you'll never get through to them.
You're exactly right. Man, you're so right, and so many. You're just right. Then one thing why I wanted to do, another reason why, is because if we can help, well, you are in recovery for 6 years. That's phenomenal. I mean, I'm glad that you're not at that point at the 1 or 2, 3 or 6 years, because it's not like I'm hoping like that. It's not like tomorrow you're going to go do it. You know what I mean? Because you're strong enough. You're strong enough to talk about it right now. I'm pretty sure.
It doesn't bother me at all to talk about my addiction at all. In fact, I've gotten to a point where, like, I love sharing my stories with people and actually letting them know, because some people don't understand. They really genuinely have questions like, why would you shoot up? Why would you do this? Why would you do that? You know?
And then it's kind of like, even for younger girls or even anybody, you could share your experience. Say, you don't want to go down that road.
Not at all. Yes.
You do not want to go down that road like me. With me, I've never done it. I don't want to do it. Well, because of my family member that did do it, and it didn't ruin my life, but it's pretty bad. We're not interviewing me, but I'm saying it was pretty bad. That I don't even like drugs. I don't like drug dealers. It did change me. I want to help people by doing this to not do drugs. You know what I mean? Like, I want them to see, because me being the correction officer, like, hey, you do drugs, you're going to go do time. You're going to go down a bad road. Believe me. Look who. Yeah, it's great. And we should do these lives a lot. I just wanted to tell you that too.
I'll tell you this. Doing the time was the easy part of my addiction.
Really?
In prison, standing on my head 1,000,000 times over and over again. Because it's easy. You get 3 hots in a pot. You're fucking living your life, watching TV, eating Zuzus and Wham Whams. It was nothing but a thing.
It's kind of like a college campus, right?
Yeah. I was chilling in prison, dude. Chilling. It was harder on the streets trying to get drugs every day and live my life in addiction than it was living in prison.
Yeah, because you're right. You're right. Because I have another friend of mine that did 15 years in prison. And she's like, it was like a party.
It's like its own city. Everybody, it's a city.
Yeah. It is a city. It is a city.
There's like a president, a vice president. It's crazy. It's like a little world inside itself.
I got a little message here. Hold on, let me see what it says. I'm trying to figure out how to help my brother get sober. It's hard for me not ever being an addict. So she's like saying, for her not being an addict, it's hard for her seeing her brother get sober. So
well, you gotta wait until your brother. You gotta ask your brother if he's ready to get sober and if he wants to accept help. If he's ready to accept help, then you can help find him the support. Because there's really not anything like people that don't struggle with addiction. You can't relate or talk to an addict about what they're going through.
Yeah, you're right.
And so helping them, if they're ready and they're willing to accept help, then you find them support. You take them to an AA or an NA meeting. You find them a rehab therapy,
or get them into a rehab.
Right.
Take them to a rehab. Like, hey, you're going to go to rehab. And then also, what I've learned too is you cannot enable them. You can't give them money.
Right.
You can't. If they have no money, like they're calling, can I have $20? No, you know what they want the $20 for. So And then, she says, she goes, I have gotten him in rehab. That's good, but he didn't even last 30 days.
Hmm.
He wasn't ready, right?
That's normal.
He
A lot
wasn't.
of people bounce out of rehab and don't make it 30 days. I've never left rehab. I've been to 6 rehabs and I've never left one. But I know a lot of people who jump ship, and sometimes they get in there and it's too real for them, and they're like, I can't do this.
Yeah, she says, um, he said he was ready, but doesn't show through the actions, and she just says that have to love him from a distance, and
Right.
she's right. You're right, because that's what we do. We have to love those people that are from a distance, because they don't
Yeah.
want help. They don't want help. We even offered them. I even offered them to come live with me and get in rehab. They don't want to do it. But anyway, next question, Nicole. I
Okay.
like your name anyway. Although it is, what do you do to maintain your mental health so that you were so you were not able to wait. What do you do to maintain your mental health so that you were able to stay sober?
So I got into therapy like immediately after treatment, and that really helped me a lot. I also did 3 psychological evaluations, one at 6 months, one at 2 years sober, and one at 3 years sober, to see if I had any mental illness or anything like that. And that's when I got my diagnosis for my depression and anxiety and got medication for that. So I take medication and I do therapy.
That's good. Now, did you get into reading the Bible at all? That has to
So
help. You know what
I
I
was
mean?
raised up in a Pentecostal church, super
Okay.
religious family. And so when I was in my addiction, I got away from God. And I was like, man, I had felt like he had abandoned me. But what I learned in my recovery through seeking God again is that he hadn't abandoned me. I had turned my back on him. And so now I have a relationship with God. I talk to him every single day. I ask him to guide me
That's
every
good.
single day to show me how to live
That's good.
sober. And I thank him every single night before I go to bed. Me and
Amen.
my little boy, we pray together every night. My son asks
That
me every night,
that is
Mom,
so
will
good.
you pray for
Oh,
me? And so we pray
that's
together.
awesome. That's good. I'm glad that that little boy does that. I wasn't raised in church. I wish I would have been. Actually, because my biological dad, I didn't grow up with my biological dad. He's a truck driver, and he died 10 years ago. And I grew up with my stepdad. I asked the stepdad if we can go to church. He just said sleep in.
Yeah,
Sleep
yeah.
in. I mean, come on, But anyway, that's besides the point. It's all about you. You know what I mean? It's all about you, Nicole. Um, it is. It's all about you. It's
I
all about you.
appreciate you for and having me on and interviewing me, because I enjoy like answering questions like this. Like I enjoy doing that. It's fun for me. I like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it just to me it's intriguing for I to talk to somebody, ask questions about their recovery or what they went through or why they went through it. You know what I mean? That's just me because I don't know. I don't know. It just I'm a very what do you call it? I care a lot. I care too much.
Yeah, you're
You know
empathetic.
what I
You
mean?
have empathy.
Yeah, and then if I see someone I really like when I went to your live day, it was really funny because I just turned it on, and then I heard you say that. Like, I
Yeah.
wish someone would interview me. I'm like, then I put that real fast. I'm like, I will.
Yeah, we were just
It
I
was
go
like the
on here and I go live every night. Like I have really built a little bit of we have a plan. Every night I go live at 7:30 and we do recovery groups, or I have someone on to come tell their story.
that's
Um
good. I think I have seen you a couple nights. I have. I not that I haven't really. It wasn't like I wasn't interested or anything, but I did see it. But now when I seen it, I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting. This is nice. But I did like that. Who is the top person today? You were saying like who we gonna pick?
oh,
That was
top
really good.
yeah, the week's recovery creators
Yeah,
of the week. And so each
that
week
is pretty good.
I pick somebody that I can have on my I have them on here. We put their content up, we shout them out, and so that way people
Yeah,
can find them. It's a way
that's
to
good.
like
That's good. That's good. That's really good. Hey, we're gonna be a team. We're gonna be a team. I
I
like
like
that.
helping people out. I like getting people
Yeah.
excited about staying sober. I want to encourage
Yep.
people to make changes in their life. Like, I don't like it's not easy to get sober, but it's like I work really hard to stay sober every day. And I
Yeah.
don't just
Yeah.
like sit on I like do work. I'm constantly doing something to change and be a better person. I didn't get into
That's
my
good. Oh, I like
addiction
that.
overnight. Like I spent 15 years in active addiction. So I've got 10 more years that I
Wow.
need to like work to be a better person, to
Yeah.
even
Yeah. You're
even it
right.
out. So it's hard work
Right.
and it's dedication to stay sober because it's easy to
Yeah.
go out and get high and relapse. Okay? I can go out
Oh
and get high
yeah.
right now.
Oh yeah.
There's drugs everywhere, all over the place. It's actually like I feel
Oh
like I'm a
yeah.
minority because I don't use drugs anymore because that's how
Okay.
many people use drugs.
I only like. Well, it's not like found a little thing what I do, but I called it the. My last name is Duncan. It's the Duncan Foundation. So what I do is like one, because I have my son's grown and I have grandkids, but that but they have it all. They have a good. They're good. They're taken care of. So I try to take like a family that's like less fortunate, and I give them Christmas. I did that last year. It was pretty cool. It's a
That
good
is
feeling.
awesome.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. It's kind of
There's
like
so many
man.
people
So
that need help and need support. And
yeah,
so
yeah.
that's what I
Me
do
and
all
you
in
now.
recovery. I love
Yeah,
helping people in recovery, and people will tell
yeah.
me, I messaged so and so and they never answered, and I messaged you and you answered right away, and I'm like, I guess I just don't understand like why people don't message people back, why people don't try to help somebody else. I can't
Yeah,
understand that, but some people they
I,
just don't care. They're simply out
yeah, that's what it
for
is. They
themselves.
they just don't care. That's what it is. They don't care. They don't want to put that. They don't want to put their 2 feet forward to help someone out. That's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, yeah,
Me, I want to help out as much as I can. I wish I could save the world, but I can't.
I know, right? Me too.
You know
Me
what I mean?
too.
I really do. I want to help as much as I can. Like, if I had all the money in the world, I'd be buying one big facility and put all the homeless in there and help them out because, they're not all drug users. They're,
A lot of them
like,
are vets.
yeah, yeah. And or they have that mental illness, but they want help and they feel they don't like themselves. Like, I was in Arizona this last November, and I was in my car and like just charging my I don't know, it was in my car. The guy came up to me and said, "Hey, can I use your phone?" Yeah, no problem. But I knew he was homeless, and he had like sores all over him, and I like, dude, you need to get that fixed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He didn't want to, and I said, dude, like right now, like I even tested him. I said, right now, I'll go get you right now, clean you all up, let you take a shower in my hotel room, get you clothes. Well, I'll take you out to dinner, lunch, whatever. And he didn't even want to. All he wanted it was that $20 so he can get fixed, so he
Yeah.
can stop getting sick. It was sad. I was like,
It's
unbelievable.
hard.
All
With
right, so next, I know
with
it is.
opiates
It's
though,
like,
those people that you're seeing
yeah,
that they're on hardcore fentanyl and that shit makes you so
yeah,
sick.
that's what it.
If
That's what
you
it
don't
was.
sleep like
Fentanyl.
every couple of hours, you're gonna be sick. Like I'm talking like dying, dude. Like it's like
Yeah,
the flu times 1,000. It's
yeah.
horrible.
Oh
It's
yeah.
horrible.
You know what I did one time? I would never do this with drugs though. But when I was a little younger. But my one of my friends, he would do vodka every night, get drunk. So, well, me, I just to do it for 7 days straight. I did
Vodka?
vodka. I did
Dude, I fucking can't
with
fuck with vodka.
Sprite. With Sprite or with vodka. I think it was like I did like even Diet Pepsi. I was so drunk every night. Man, I was like,
I have a
I think
friend
it was
who's an
like
alcoholic and he drinks
crazy.
vodka every night and he has to drink it in the mornings too because if he doesn't, he shakes. And that's the kind of
Really?
alcoholics I see. I see the kind of alcoholics who have cirrhosis of the liver and their liver is
Yeah,
so
yeah,
swollen. Did you see that one lady
yeah,
here on TikTok who her belly is like
yeah.
out to here because she
Oh.
has cirrhosis? It's sad,
Oh, that's
man.
see, I don't. So I heart. Well, now I'm trying not to eat. Well, I'm on a diet. This is day 3 actually.
Oh, good luck to you.
Thank you. I thank you. I need it. I need all what it's the pop. It's the pop. It's the sugar.
If
There
you'll
was
drop
one
that
thing
Coke, you'll lose like 10 pounds in a week if you stop drinking pop.
you're you're right. That's why
Yeah.
I'm a very big Coke drinker. Did you know that I didn't know this though? Sugar is the number one uh, addicted
Did
thing,
you, I already
even
know
worse than
that.
drugs. Yeah, I didn't
Yes.
know that really,
It's in
but then
everything.
I know I was like, I didn't even know that sugar was in milk.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't
I
know
didn't know
that.
that either
I
until
was so
recently. I
yeah,
did
me
not know
too.
that either.
I was so mad. I'm like, what? Sugar and milk? I was so mad.
Try to
I
stop
was
taking
like,
sugar and see what happens. You'll go through withdrawal like heroin
I
withdrawals.
know. Oh really? See,
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to do. I haven't had like this right here was Powerade,
Uh
and that
huh.
had sugar too, right?
Yep. My dad and my
Golly,
mom do the keto thing, and
I need
my
to
dad's
try
lost
to
like
do that.
20 pounds doing it.
Really? Yeah, I weighed. You wouldn't believe it, but 7 years ago I weighed 170.
Oh, I believe it.
170.
I believe
I
it.
weigh two. I weigh 260 now.
I can
I
relate.
feel
I
like
weigh 220, so I understand. Believe me.
really, and now, like like now we're getting now. I never thought I would, say fat. Like I would be like that guy, but I
Yeah.
am that guy. You know what I mean?
You
I'm
know what?
fat.
I have to tell
I don't
you,
even like the.
I'm like,
I
I
don't
would
even like
rather
the
be
word
fat
F.
than be skinny and strung out because the alternative for me is shooting
It's
dope and
true.
so skinny that my eyes look like I'll have these huge fucking eye sockets because my face will get so skinny.
Wow.
So
Man, my face. I feel like I have a fat suit on.
we
It's
do.
bad. Yeah, it's bad. I mean, it's bad, but it'll be all right. I'm all right, but it's the
we,
sugar.
we
It's the
look
sugar.
good, and what makes us look good is that our personalities and that we're good people, and so that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's right. I like that. I like that. All right, back to a question. We got
Okay.
off subject. I'll do that to you once in a while. All right. So, what would you tell someone who's on not like on the other side of the recovery of a if a family member that you like a loved one that's dealing with some they like wait oh I came in dealing with someone that is an addicted. How would you give them advice in coping with a person that is loved that has addiction that has not been in able to go to the situation? So what I'm trying to say there is like me, I don't like me. I'm not. I'm the family, like a family. I'm not doing drugs. So how would you like tell a family like it's coping with?
How would I tell you what to do? How would I suggest things for you to do? I
Yeah,
would tell
yeah,
you I would tell you to look up Al-Anon, which is an amazing program for people who have loved ones that are addicted or alcoholics. And it's a program for you to have support from other people who have loved ones that struggle with addiction. Then also, I would say the best thing you can do is love that person, encourage them to change, encourage them to want treatment, and wait until they do. But you have to
yeah,
move on and live your life. You cannot let their
yeah,
addiction consume you, or else you will become addicted to their addiction. And you will become addicted to saving them. And you will become addicted to trying to fix and manage and control them. It will literally be
yeah. You're
your
right.
identity.
You're right. 'Cause I have one friend. Man, it's bad. It's bad that and her son. It's
Yeah.
terrible, and it's just terrible. You're right though. You go all out to try to save them, and they don't want to get why even. But then you're like, if they OD, and if they do OD and they die, you're like, man, I could have helped. I don't want that feeling ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
But here's the thing, like, no, you can't help unless somebody's ready to accept the help. And so
yeah,
you do the best you can to provide those resources and that support. And until that
mm,
person's ready to accept it, that's all you can do. And you can't blame yourself. I've had a lot of people die on me that I was trying to help, and they just couldn't get it, and they overdosed and died. Of course, I felt the same way. I could have done more. What did I not do? But that's guilt. That's grief. That's what grieving causes us to do. We blame ourselves. We ask questions. We get angry. That kind of thing. But you
yeah,
did everything you could.
yeah. I hope that I hope they get out of that funk. I really do. I hope and I pray every day that they want to get the help, or they want to do better, or just get out of it, or they're tired of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or is it like they're tired of it, but it's the body, that body needs that chemical, right? Pretty
Right.
much.
Your mind gets tired of it. You finally get to a point where you're just like, I can't do this anymore. I'm sick and tired of living my life like this. But then your body is like, give me more, because I need to operate. This is how I operate. It's like taking the gas away from your car. You know what I mean? When
Yeah.
you're addicted to drugs, it's like your fuel.
Yeah, it's kind of like, well, with me, it's the same thing. It's like pop, soda, sugar.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I don't want to. Yeah, it's exactly like that. I don't even want to taste. I don't even want to. I'm getting too old. I'm 42, and I'm in drinking in my. I have a little belly now, and you feel terrible, and it's like, oh.
I
So
know,
that's why I'm
man.
on. That's why I'm on day 3. So it's like you're helping me with my sugar addiction.
You're getting, and listen,
I'm addicted.
you are addicted, and that's what you can do.
I
You
am.
can look up the 12 steps and you can work the 12 steps on your sugar addiction. First, you
All
got to
right.
admit that you have a problem. So you've admitted you have a problem with sugar. Okay, now
Yes.
you got to become willing to accept spiritual help. Can your higher power help guide you to come off of sugar and restore you to sanity? And then you need to make a list of all the reasons why you don't need sugar and what sugar has done to you and how it's caused you harm in your life. You know what I'm saying? These are all
Okay.
things
All
that will
right.
do to you. And
You're
then
gonna be my helper. Hey, how is this turned around? You're my helper now
you're going to
over
want the pros
sugar.
and the cons. The pros of staying on sugar and the cons of staying on sugar
All right.
and
All
matching it.
right.
And then when you see it, you're going to be like, it makes so much sense. But what happens is it's the addiction of the sugar. It's the sugar
Yeah. Right.
itself
You're
that
right.
is physically addicting. So you're going to have
Yeah.
to go through a withdrawal period from it where you're sick and you're not feeling right. And that's where it gets you.
Yeah. I know. I don't want that. That's like, oh my. When they say people like, they say drugs is a disease, or they say it's a choice, and they, well, then I'm saying, because to me, I say, well, doing drugs is a choice at first,
Yes, it is
but
that
then
first.
at first it is. I will admit to that. At first it is, and then at the beginning, then that body just needs it. That's an addiction, just
Yes.
like sugar. Then I'm saying, well, it's a choice to me to go in that gas station and go get me a big gulp and put Mountain Dew in there.
Right, right.
That I would love that.
You have to practice going against what your brain and your body are telling you to do, and that's what makes it so hard. So your brain and your body are going to say, go get the Mountain Dew. And so that's why you have to have things like people to reach out to and say, hey man, I was thinking about getting a Mountain Dew, but I know it's not right for me. And talk to people about it. Like talk
Yeah.
about it. Make videos about it, about on your TikTok, like I'm coming off sugar and I'm trying to stay away from it and da 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 da. Like the more you talk about it and tell people that you're struggling, it takes the power away from it. It literally takes the power away from the situation. It gives you more power by letting others know what you're going through, and then they can join in and help you. And then it's like a camaraderie of you helping each other. It's amazing.
All right, I'm gonna do that.
I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
'cause I
man,
need
you
a.
can find so many people that are trying to lose weight too and join in with them and do it together. It will really, really help you. I'm not 100% so serious about this. Like, I try to tell people that all the time. Like, process
Oh, I
and talk
believe you.
about what you're going through and have
Yeah,
fellowship. It helps a lot.
yeah. I believe you because you didn't get 8,000 subscribers off YouTube for nothing, or even how what you did pretty good on your TikTok.
I know I'm
I'm
gonna hit
impressed.
100K by the end of the year. That's my goal. My goal is to hit
What it,
100K.
that's good. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you can do it. Oh yeah,
Oh,
I'll help
please.
you. I'll definitely help you
Man,
because if we
thank
do
you
these
so much.
lives, it's.
I
Oh,
hope
you're
you know that
welcome.
I really appreciate you interviewing me.
Oh, you're welcome. I appreciate interviewing you. I thought it'd be cool. You know what I mean? Because I can learn something from you. You can learn something from me. You know, drugs. The man that I just can't believe that what you went through. That is, it's
What's so
Man,
insane about it is that it was self-inflicted. That's what makes it even more insane. Is that I was doing those things to myself because I was,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's what makes it so. When I talk about it, I'm like, I cannot believe that I did that. Like now that I'm
yeah,
sane and my mind is healthy again, I can't
yeah.
believe I did that to myself.
Just by talking to you now, it's it's crazy. I'm impressed. But how you are right now compared to I didn't know you back then or whatever. But I'm like, wow. How many kids you got anyway?
One,
Well, that's awesome. And he is how old is he?
he's 7.
Oh, that's cool. That yeah, my grandkid is 7, so that's
I
cool.
got
He just turned
sober
7.
when he was 1 year old. See, I was addicted to drugs while I was pregnant with my son.
Oh,
And
okay.
I remember when I found out I was pregnant, I was so scared because I just knew deep down in my heart I wasn't going to be able to get sober. But I tried and I failed miserably. And so my son saved my life, man. He just
That's
saved my
good.
life. I look at him every single day, and he's the reason why I stay sober. He's the reason
That's
why. There's
good.
no other reason why but him. He is so amazing and he loves me so much. And he is just the miracle that I needed to pull me out of my addiction. Because I had tried so
Um,
many times to get sober and I would fail. I failed miserably for so many times. 6 rehabs, prison, 10 different sober
6 3.
livings, all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
And then all I needed was the love of my son and for me to love him, and that just helped me so much. Like I just and I'm not telling people to go out and get pregnant and have kids, but it saved my life. It
Yeah.
saved my life.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. That's amazing. That's awesome. But not all people are women like yourself
Right.
as a mother loving their child, because I know of some mothers don't even love their child. They're not even gonna do. They're not working for their child, to get help or to get better. You did. So I'm very impressed about that. That is just, man, that's awesome. I'm so
Now
happy that you.
I look at my son and he's so smart, and I just can't believe that I almost didn't do. I almost lost my son forever because of a drug. And when I see him and how smart he is, and how wonderful he is, and how kind he is, and how he loves other people, and he cares about what other people feel and what they think, I just can't even imagine not ever getting sober for him. Like he saved my life. God chose him. God gave me my son because he knew I would. He saved my life. I cannot explain it to you any other way. I got pregnant once when I was 24. I had an abortion. It was a horrible experience. And after that, I had sex unprotected. I was wilding out, and I never got pregnant. Never got pregnant. I got down to the worst part of my addiction, and I got pregnant. And then my son was
Oh,
born,
really?
and he saved my life.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad that he saved your life. I mean,
So,
man,
sorry, I don't mean to get
that
emotional, but my son is
no,
so important
that's
to me.
your son means a lot to you, and that's great. I mean, I'm glad that that he meant that much to you, that you changed your life. That is amazing. That is just.
And I tell him that. He knows that. I tell him. He'll say it. He goes, I saved my mom's life.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, even when he's yeah, he, and when he gets older and older, and he's gonna he's gonna appreciate you even more and more. I mean, he's only 7. He probably appreciate you, but once he gets older, and he's gonna say like, I saved my mom's life. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so cool, man. That is that's cool. I like that.
He's a good kid. But
That's
anyway,
good.
I'm going to get off here. Is that okay with you? I'm going to upload this to YouTube.
Oh
Fool.
yeah, 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 definitely. Yeah, yeah. I just wanted
Do you
to,
have a
yeah,
YouTube channel? Will you do me a favor? Will you send
yeah,
me over your YouTube channel and everything so I can put it in the comment section so that way
yeah,
people can go
yeah. I
over to
think
you?
yeah, because before I went on here, I went to there and I just subscribed it. But I will, yeah, I definitely
Send
will.
me
And then we'll
your
have to.
Send me the
Okay,
link to your channel though so I can put it
okay,
under my YouTube so people from my
okay,
YouTube channel will go to your YouTube channel and subscribe. Have you
Oh,
put
yeah,
any
that's
videos up
cool.
on your YouTube yet?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot.
Okay, you know you can
Oh,
take these
yeah.
live streams and you can download these live streams to your phone and put them
I
on your
I
YouTube.
didn't I did not know that.
Yeah, so you'll go into
That's
your
awesome.
settings, you'll go down to live replay, and you'll open it up right there in TikTok, and you'll see all these videos. You can download this video to your phone, put it on your YouTube.
Oh, really? Okay, I'll do
Yeah.
that.
So if you go live one day and it was like a good live and you want to post it to YouTube, you can.
Yeah. Oh, that's yeah. Because I've been trying to, do that. I would been
Yeah,
wondering.
it's like knocking two birds out with one stone.
Heck yeah. All right, and I'll do that. It's a link. Do it on the your TikTok, the messenger. Just put it on the in there.
Yes,
I can do
send it to
that.
me on the messenger so I can copy and put it on my YouTube.
All right. Yeah, and I appreciate you letting me do this. It was a very nice doing a live with you, and getting some answers, and hopefully somebody out there, even in the future, will like, wow, that's pretty, cool that she overcame what she went through. Man, that's amazing. You know what I mean? It's not about me. I'm just the interviewer. It
Thank
was about
you.
you, Nicole.
I
It was
appreciate
definitely a
you. And what I'll do is
really.
I'll message you, and then maybe you can come on and tell me about what it was like to be a correction officer. But I
Oh
got to
yeah, I
think of
will.
some
Oh yeah, I
questions,
will.
though. I got to think of some questions to
Okay.
ask you because I want to ask you from an inmate's point of view.
All right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well,
Because
I'll probably be busting
I
your balls
was.
a little bit in it, but you can handle
Okay,
it.
that's okay. That's okay. I was where Mike Tyson was at. That's where the prison I was at in Plainfield, Indiana.
Oh,
He
really?
wasn't there at the time. Yeah, he wasn't there, unfortunately, at the time. But I was there for 5 years, and I was a trip officer. It was pretty cool. The reason why I actually became a correction officer is because so I went end up in prison.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll message you
you
and
have
we'll
to.
set up an interview for you here on my channel, okay?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, yeah, that'd be cool because yeah, it was crazy that little the reason why I became a correctional. You'll be like, what?
Text
Whoa,
me,
man,
message
that's
me, and let me know. But I'm gonna get upstairs. I need to wash my face, and my son needs to go and get in the bathtub. But
yeah, yeah. I'm
thank
sorry
you,
I made you
Jason.
cry.
Thank
I'm
you.
so sorry. Oh, you're
No, you're
welcome.
okay.
Really, you're so welcome. It was so nice to meet you. Hopefully, we do these lives again, which we will. We will be a team.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Thank you, man.
It's
I'll see you
awesome.
later.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Bye. Oh my God. So, do we need to interview him and find out why he was a correctional officer? And if y'all think we should, I need y'all to send me questions to ask him because we're going to ask him from the inmates' point of views and from the addicts' point of views. So I think that would be interesting, don't y'all? Okay, so also, I don't know what was going on in the beginning of this video with one of my people. I think it was Stay Launched. She was all upset about something. What was going on? Let me see. Oh, I guess I can't. I guess it's not in here anymore. I was like seeing her commenting about stuff and I was like, what's she upset about? But anyway, I'm going to upload this video onto my YouTube channel. I need to go wash my face, y'all, because I'm like tired and my like face is all oily. But man, that was fun. I'm glad somebody else asked me questions. What was going on, Axel? Like, she's always usually in here and being chill, but I seen her like kind of getting all upset about it, something. And I was like, what is she so upset about? We just started the video. You know, you guys, in order for me to get to the part of recovery, I got to tell y'all how I got in my addiction. You know what I mean? So I saw, anyways, some people you can't ever make anybody happy. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that was fun. Did y'all like that? I like that too. I'm gonna go take a shower, okay? I love you guys. I'm putting this up on YouTube.